Hello, all. A very good evening. Welcome to Sakshi TV's immigration talk show with attorney Dr. Srinivas Kaveti. I am Preeti Mulbagal, your host for the show. Our today's guest, Dr. Kaveti, is a very well-known, multifaceted, accomplished international attorney who studied law in India, Australia, England, and the United States, catering to the diversified clientele across the globe. Dr. Kaveti, welcome to our show.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having.
So, Dr. Kaveti, you've opened so many offices, and so far it's been 21 and then more to go. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, you've been having so many recent international trips, and recently we've come to know that you were appointed as the academic senate member for the Telangana University. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, because most of the times in the universities, what they do, they take people from the profession, from the industry, because for the law, especially, they have taken me on the Senate academic senate member to help them help the students and the academic staff to make any changes in their curriculum. That's one thing. And two, they also invite industry professionals, accomplished people in sharing their wisdom to the students of law. I mean, matter of fact, I was there talking on private international law and immigration. And what are the opportunities for the law students in India and overseas? I was talking on that. And the second thing, I was invited to the Bangalore. There's a law school called Jayantu Christ College of Law, and they have done mediation seminar. So I was the chief guest for that, and there was a high court judge. So we spoke on mediation because I'm also appointed in the United Nations as an economic council lawyer. And so I was talking on how the diplomacy works, instead of fighting between two countries, how the diplomacy works. That's the mediation, how two countries mediate instead of fighting, between two nations. Things like that. I travel when I go, I get invited by all these universities lecturing to the students so that to enrich them with the wisdom which we have in a practical real world. And that's what I was there in Nizamabad. It was called a place called Ditchpalli. And the dean invited me, and students, they also told me the difficulties what they were going through in terms of university and their curriculum, and in terms of they have their own issues with the government. They wanted us to lobby, things like that.
As you mentioned, you lecture in the bar associations and being invited by the High Court of Telangana in Chandigarh, and you address the colleges and the NRIs. So what is the motive behind these lectures and addressing all these associations?
Yeah, the first of all, coming from an industry perspective, um, because of my I came from a small town, and I've lived in Australia, studied there, lived in England, studied there, been living in New York, studied here, and I picked up some PhD in artificial intelligence and 500 doctorates, and some of them are on my own way. I'm doing a doctorate again, one more in humanitarian law. Because of my academic progression and achievements in India and overseas, I wanted to share that wisdom to students. First of all, those who are future lawyers of the country. And two, I do address bar associations. This is for the lawyers itself. I was there in Chandigarh High Court. They've invited me, and Bar Association of High Court, Bar Association of Chandigarh, and the Bar Association of District Court of Chandigarh. By talking to them, see what happens is, because if you see from India, a lot of people migrate from Haryana and Punjab, and most of them they come to America and other parts of the world. many times they do come on illegal measures, crossing the border and things like that. I was educating and I was sharing my wisdom of immigration law to the guys in Punjab and Haryana, to the lawyers, saying that if any of their clients get arrested in this side of the world, what are the legal measures they have to take? That's one thing. I'm sorry. Second thing is, in terms of students, law students, when I go and deliver lectures to them, when I share my wisdom, it's like English law, Australian law, American law, Canadian law. Because in India, when they go to law school, they only study the laws which are designed by Englishmen in 1870s, and they're still following the old time laws. So when I share my wisdom with them and people who have some international issues, these students, when they become lawyers, as Gandhiji said, today's pleader is tomorrow's leader. All these students who are going to become pleaders, lawyers, tomorrow they'll be in parliament and they'll be the lawmakers. If they get some orientation or some knowledge shared, to them, tomorrow they could make a better country, because today's child is tomorrow's father of the nation. So they would become lawyers and they would become ministers. They would also become MLAs, and they would also become judges. So tomorrow, when a person like me shares some wisdom to them, it would help them. So that's what I go and lecture to a lot of law schools, and even Chamber of Commerce, and even the advocates associations. It's part of giving back to the society. That's called pro bono work. As every advocate and as every lawyer, solicitor, barrister, attorney, we have to give something back to the country, back to your community. So I that's some of my purpose of my life. So I give back something to the community, 10 to 20%. That's the reason I go and enrich them, share them the wisdom which I pick up traveling all over the world, getting educated in the rest of the world. That's the purpose. And it also helps me in connecting to lawyers. It also helps me connecting to community. Some people come and share their problems. And, for a normal Indian guys, getting in touch with a Western lawyer, it's very expensive. First of all, they have to take appointments, and two, they have to pay $350 to $500 one phone call consultation. That's about 50,000 rupees. How many people can afford? So when I go back to them, when I go back to the ground level and see these people, they come back and ask questions and they take some advices. So I give advices to them in terms of Indian law as an Indian advocate, as in terms of English law as a solicitor, and in terms of international law as an international lawyer, and also as American law, because I work in this firm for past 20, 25 years. So we also advise and inform. I mean, just part of education, I would say, information seminars, not legal advices, because you cannot give legal advice in public. It's all private. And so we just give informational seminars, webinars, things like that. It's part of giving back to the community.
It is a privilege to be able to talk to you and to understand about your work that you do to the community and your pro bono cases, Dr. Kaveti, given your vast educational background and your vast experience. So, on that note, what does your firm do to assist the Indian law for the NRI clients, say property disputes? Will you be able to handle them? Because sometimes what happens is the parents, they have properties on their names and then they deceive without a will. Will you be able to handle those kind of cases for the NRI
Correct.
clients?
Correct. That is called, when somebody leaves a property without testament, will, it's called intestate property. And when there is no will, they have to go to the court and file letter of administration. And under the Hindu law, because in India there's a Hindu law, there's a Muslim law, there's a Christian laws. Laws are there for Parsis and other people. Indian Succession Act applies. Yes, definitely for NRIs who are living in abroad, people are living in America or England, Canada, Australia. When they have property issues, yes, we do assist them in terms of probate, in terms of letter of administration, in terms of their succession certificate, how to get a succession certificate, family certificate. We assist clients, yes, who are NRS, those who have problems in India in terms of property law. And we also assist people here in America and in England or Australia or Canada, those who come to this side of the world and they buy properties and they also buy properties in India. Suddenly something happens and you see all these times people get, they die in the accidents in this country. Husband and wife die, sometimes children are saved, things like that. Because if there's no will, let's say if they want to have a will, whether they can have a will done it in America or in England or Australia or Canada, or do they have to do a will as per the Indian law? This is a complex subject. It's called law of succession, testament, and estate planning as well. These are the things we definitely do, multiple countries. Yes, we do assist NRA clients in terms of property disputes as well. If you see a lot of NRAs when they come and settle abroad, they also have properties in India. And what is happening? And people are, trespassing into their properties. They're encroaching into their properties, and people are selling their properties without these guys' knowledge. I mean, we help all of that. And if somebody wants to really buy a property in India, those who are sitting in America, we also do due diligence for them. We also do title search. We also do all the searches of properties and advise them, even when they enter into a contract with a real estate broker or an agent, with even builders. We also check up whether they are registered under the RERA and whether the property where they're buying is clean and title clear. We do all of that because we have 10 offices, advocates offices in India. We have advocates offices, solicitors firm in London. We also have a law practice in America. Yes, we assist clients all over the world in terms of property searches. Yes, definitely for NRS.
Talking about London, last time when you were in Oxford University, we see that you were conferred with the Nelson Mandela Excellence Award in the Oxford University. Could you shed some light on that?
Yes, because I do a lot of international work in terms of UK, in terms of America. We also do for Europe, and we just started our presence in Dubai as well. We work with some local lawyers there in terms of workers' comp, and some people when these blue collar workers they die, how they and dead body has to be shipped to India, and do they get any compensation if they don't have an insurance? All of that we assist people. So looking at my international work in terms of United Nations and here and in Australia, in Canada and UK and America and India, my name was recommended. So they took my name for Nelson Mandela Award and they gave it to me in Oxford. On Oxford, the mayor has given it to me, conferred. I mean, with additional to that, I'm also being given an award by in the World Congress in US for the it's not a Bharat Ratna, but it's something like a Ratna NRIs. I mean, I get a lot of awards. I mean, because of the work which we do for pro bono, we also assist a lot of women and children. We do a lot of pro bono work in terms of education. We help a lot of people all over the world, Betty. So I was awarded, and November 15th also they've asked me to been invited by the British Parliament for another award. I mean, it's part of the recognition, and this also motivates me to do more work.
Such lovely accomplishments you have, Dr. Kaveti. And talking about accomplishments, I see that you're also the legal representative for Adi Shankaracharya Peetham and legal advisor for Global Confederation for Promotion and Development. Tell us about that. How did this happen?
Right. It's interesting you asked me this question because if you see in India, the Adi Shankaracharya, there are four Pitadipatis. And one of the Pitadipati is South. And this Pitadipati who's sitting in Hyderabad, there are thousands of acres in Andhra. They've been encroached by the government or by the private individuals, and thousands of acres. And what happened is, one must understand these pitas and matas, the endowment is oversees them. That's only. I mean, it's amazing in India. If you have a church, there is no endowment. If you're a mosque, then the Waqf board takes care of it. And the temples in India are governed by the central government or the state government by endowment department. So they're the trustees actually. They're like watchdogs. But what is happening now in India? The endowment itself is selling the properties of temples. These temple properties or the mud properties belongs to that particular mud or a society, and even to that. If, for example, let's say if it is Tirupati or Srisailam or Narsingadeva in Yadagirigutta, the property belongs to the deity. That means to the Lord, not to the human being. And all these priests or the chairmen and the government of state of Telangana or Andhra or the central government, they are the trustees. They are called escrow agents, and they're supposed to be the watchdogs. What they're doing, because of the corruption, they're selling the properties of the temples of the deity. Deity means goddess, god or goddesses. They are the owners. They are the title owners. And these mutts and other temples in even in Hyderabad, 25 temples are there, old city temples. I was talking on some TV channels, and there's one lady's fighting for that properties of the temples in old city. These properties are being sold by the endowment department, and these properties are being encroached, and a lot of people are trespassing and they're occupying, all these things. So the Shankaracharya's trust also is facing the same issue. So I happen to, we are advising them as well.
Mhm. Wow, that's really interesting. And Dr. Kaveti. And in the given recent developments about, I would like to change the topic a little because this is a current burning topic. So I'd like to know your insights on this. So, given the recent developments on the 100K H1B fee, we see that it's very hard for the future students to come to US. So, what are the other countries that the students would be looking at?
Recently, China is coming up with technology workers visa. That is the first time they're encouraging Indians to go there because China is investing billions of dollars in artificial intelligence, more than Silicon Valley. So they are inviting Indians. And even Japan has come up with a new law for technology workers of India below 35 years. They are also inviting. And so as Poland and European countries, they're inviting Indian talent to go there and work. And a lot of Germany and other countries are also encouraging Indians to come and get a technology education. That's one thing. And this $100,000 is being challenged in the courts. USCIS has come up with a clarification that this proclamation doesn't apply to people who are in the country in US, those who apply for a change of status. So we don't have to get panicky. But this year, there are less number of students coming to US. 78% are reduced now to come to US for students or even H1B guys. I don't think so anybody would come next year. It is having an impact on US economy, and it is having a positive and a kind of negative impact on India because India is looking, because if you see now, the Google is investing $15 billion, and they want to make Vizag as the artificial intelligence city. Imagine how much of jobs creations would be there. So there's going to be a shift. Even Elon Musk was saying that he would like to establish something outside US because of the present policies. So it's going to have an impact internationally. Yes, there are other countries that one have to look. Even Canada is tightened up, and Australia is tightened up, and even England. The problem is a lot of there is unemployment in England as well, because I quite often visit London, and we also practice law in London, so it's affecting a lot in UK as well. And the people are actually going to Ireland and Scotland, but it's a small market. In terms of Europe, they're opening up, and in terms of Asia, they're opening up. So that's another thing which any of your audience are looking at this show, they should think of outside America now.
But I guess this will be opening up the opportunities for the OPTs in a better way.
Yes, OPTs and SOPTs, and when they get an H-1B, yes, they can adjust their status in the country. Yes, there shouldn't be a problem for them. They should not be worried who are already in the country.
Dr. Kaveti, usually what we see, any attorneys, lawyers, they stay in one country and they serve one country. But your firm, we see you've covered 3 continents and you're still exploring. What is the reason behind it?
One reason is because of my legal education in India, legal education in Australia, England, and America. Because of my legal education in all these 4 continents, I see outside the box. That's number one. Number two, law is very expensive. A common man, a poor man cannot go to the courts. And a man like me, because I come from a small town and I'm exploring the world and I want to give something back, and I'm going back to the grassroots level because Gandhiji said, go to grassroots level. And the country's economy, the country's progress starts from villages. Go back to villages. When I was studying my law, I was reading autobiography of Gandhi, and it has made a major impact on my life. That go back to villages. So a person like me with qualifications in abroad, and yes, you're right. Normally, people don't go back. So I go back to different continents like England, and I was there in Dubai and India, now, other parts of the world. And we're also working with some Polish lawyers and European lawyers. So I think outside the box, and I go back to my, country where I come from, and I speak to the people and bring value and give them information. So the reason of my exploration is because of my information and knowledge in different parts of the world and experience. I want to give back something to outside America. That's one of the reason. And number two, because law is so expensive, people cannot afford in this western side of the world. When I go back and explore from other parts, I take the information to them. I mean, if you see, I was also there in Bodhan. I mean, this is a small town near Nizamabad. And the Bodhan guys have invited me, NRI, merchants, NRI guys invited me. I went and did a seminar. 250 people came, and there were a lot of media. And a lot of parents were there. They were so scared because of the Trump's policies. And they were asking me questions. I gave information to them. So like that, I go nook and corners of the world and talk and trying to establish offices, even I'm working with lawyers from different parts of the world, so that I can enrich and give some services to people all over the world, thinking outside the box.
Okay. That is really impressive, Dr. Kaveti. And given your experience, you've worked with clients across the globe. Would you be able to share any of the most challenging clients or individuals that have come across, if it is okay to share?
Yeah, most of the times in India, we get married to our cousins, like father's sister's son or daughter. That is
Mhm.
actually unlawful in America. You can't marry your own cousins. So one case, somebody got married to his, father's sister's daughter, and when she went to the embassy, she said, "He's my cousin." And they said because it's unlawful in America, so we won't give you a visa to come to America. So that was a challenge. So one has to understand that there are so many permutations and combinations. It's not just reading on Google or a chat GPT, filling up a DS form. There are so many things one have to be careful in filling up forms. And there's so many things they need to understand. So by having our offices in India and UK and America, and we're trying to establish in other parts of the world, even in Middle East, we're able to cater to different parts, different people in all over the world. And there are many types of challenges we come across, sometimes even export importers. One client entered into a contract in America for buying some scrap, and he entered into a contract and sitting in a restaurant. And the guy sent $100,000 to America. The American seller sent, instead of sending scrap, he sold uh, grinders, stones. He put stones in the container and sent it to them. And when they came to America, they tried to find out where this guy is. The guy, I asked him, I said, where did you enter into a contract? He said, we entered into a contract in a restaurant, in a coffee shop. I said, you don't do things like that. So, things like that. There's a lot of challenges for companies and a lot of challenges for even individuals when they're selecting employers. There's so many things in the world. Even getting married to a wrong spouses, wrong people, one has to do due diligence. So, those are the challenging things which I've come across.
Those are some interesting cases, Dr. Kaveti. It might be interesting, even far more interesting for you to deal with them. I mean, being a layman, they sound very interesting. So I am sure it must be very challenging to deal with them. So thank you so much for being on our show and for sharing your valuable insights and your education and your experience. They mean a lot in terms of the legal advices. Thank you so much for being on our show, Dr. Kavit.
And thank you, Priti. And we can do a lot of things like this because buyer be aware. You should know what you're doing and do some research before you come. That's what I speak to a lot of students when they're traveling abroad, pre-orientation, pre-departure orientation, and after coming here, after a post visa orientation. All of that we do, seminars also, webinars, and we speak on environmental law. We speak on different subjects when people invite me over online and offline. So I'll be happy to share more wisdom with your viewers. And thanks for having me, Priti, and it's wonderful.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.